Before we get started, just want to give you a little background on myself for those of you who have not met me before. My name, of course, is John Vento. I'm a certified public accountant. I'm also the president of Comprehensive Wealth Management, a New York City-based CPA firm as well that specializes in working with dentists across the country. I'm insurance licensed, I'm securities licensed, pretty much anything investment, tax, accounting related. If it's financial related, I got you covered. Throughout this presentation, I'm going to encourage each of you to take notes. Note down what your question is so that you'll have an opportunity to reach out to me and speak with me about what your particular question was. Please call my office. Contact information is at the bottom of the slide. We're going to jump right into strategy number one. This is a brand new strategy that came about as a result of the coronavirus. I'm sure many of you are already taking advantage of the PPP program, the EIDL program, et cetera, et cetera. We're not going to cover that stuff today because that I'm assuming you've already taken care of. But one of the things that came out of this coronavirus was that President Trump declared coronavirus a national disaster. By doing so, that kicked into Internal Revenue Code Section 139, and it became effective. Now, what this specifically says, this allows your employer to make tax-deductible payments to employees, and their employees receive this money tax-free as reimbursement for various personal expenses, such as family, living, funeral expenses incurred as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. Unfortunately, you as the practice owner are not entitled to this benefit, but any payment you make to an employee that falls under this category, that payment will be fully tax deductible to you and completely tax-free to your employee. So it is a very powerful tool if you could put it into place. So what would be eligible for this? Reading right off this slide here, eligible expenses include any cost associated with maintaining your home office, related internet, cell phone, increased utility cost, purchasing of equipment, office space, or other teleworking costs. So many of you had employees working at home, maybe even today, they work at home a few days a week, in the office a few days a week. Any cost that they're incurring above and beyond what they would have had otherwise would qualify for this. Even some childcare cost, if your employee was not able to come to work unless they got a childcare because their children were not permitted to go to school, then as part of the childcare cost for keeping your child, getting a babysitter for your child so that you could come to work, that cost would also qualify. Out-of-pocket medical costs that are not covered through health insurance, such as wellness visits, and also PPP costs incurred, also included. Lastly, funeral expenses. God forbid someone in your family member passed away as a result of coronavirus. We could even structure it so that you could give them a tax-free reimbursement for part of the cost of the funeral expense. So what I tell most of my dental clients, actually all my dental clients now that I'm going into year-end planning season, is that chances are that this year was not a good year for you in your practice, being that most of you were completely shut down for 3 months. Luckily, the PPP program has helped you, but still, most of you will not be making the same money you made the year before. So because of this, you may not be in a position to give your employees the typical holiday bonus at the end of the year, which you pay to them through salary. You have to pay Social Security tax, Medicare tax, and then the full amount of that year-end bonus is subject to payroll tax to the employee as well. So you may want to consider as an alternative, if you can't afford the bonus, perhaps you could create a policy where you'll have disaster relief reimbursement plan. Just draft up a couple of rules about who qualifies and what circumstances they were going to qualify for, determine if there's going to be some sort of dollar limit, and then you could make that payment to those employees, get a full tax deduction under this code section, and the employee will be better off because all the money that you're going to pay them will be paid to them on a tax-free basis. So again, you cannot substitute a year-end bonus for this program, but if you weren't going to give a year-end bonus and you feel that you should help out your employees for the type of special expenses they incurred this year because of coronavirus, why not take advantage of this? Okay, so that is my I wouldn't call it my number one, but it's the first recommendation I'm going to make to you, and that is clearly a new law that didn't apply in the previous year. So this is the cover of my book, Financial Independence, Getting to Point X. I would highly recommend that you pick up a copy of it. It could be ordered through Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble. The book is loaded with useful financial planning tips. In addition to that, the second version, which is the green-covered book, has a new chapter dedicated to dental practices and the specific strategies you could use to save more of what you make. So with that said, once again, thank you for attending the presentation. I'd like to wish each of you the very best of success. Have a great day and enjoy.